welcome again to another episode of the Smartcites podcast. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by my colleague and friend, Luke Martin. Welcome, Luke.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Hey, it's great to have you again. Let's just get started. You're the de facto leader of our Advancing Professionals program. I know we started that not even less than a year ago. How has that evolved in the 9 months since we were together here last June?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's really been a fun project to work on. I'm engaging with our young people within ARC internally every week, which number one helped us internally with a couple of things. All of us work in different aspects with ARC, right? So one of the things that I love to catch up with everybody every week is, hey, what interesting projects are you working on? Anything new you learned? Anything you're struggling with? So we've really been kind of building this program from the ground up, really creating the framework. But it's an exciting group of young people here at ARC, and we've been talking to some of our clients, some of our attendees here. I'll tell you what, Jim, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a bit significantly younger crowd, in my opinion, at this forum than in June. So we're looking to capitalize on that momentum and keep driving new, younger faces to the forum moving into 2024.
Yeah, I don't think that's only your opinion. It's I believe it's a fact because I'm saying that as well. Can you talk a little bit about, I know yourself as well as some of your other colleagues in our Advancing Professionals program, like Gavin Simon, have interviewed a few other young professionals this week here right on this podcast. Can you touch on some of those conversations?
Absolutely. Well, everybody's got a unique perspective, but what we've been doing is going around to, again, some of these new younger faces and saying, hey, would you mind hopping on camera for 5-10 minutes? We're kind of picking their brains about their experience throughout the forum. But we're also getting advice, getting tips from them for a younger audience, right? Maybe it's undergrads that are on the tail end, junior, senior year of their college career, and they're potentially looking to break into the industrial manufacturing or software markets. Maybe we're getting some feedback based on some of the session specifics or the keynote. So the conversations have been very broad, but also very specific. We've got some great feedback. I've made some great connections. Obviously added everybody up on LinkedIn, so I'm looking forward to seeing these guys again in 2024, and obviously staying in contact throughout the year until next year.
Well, let me ask you. What topic areas are resonating with the Advancing Professionals group?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen one common thing through most of our Advancing professional interviews so far, and that's how important energy transition, sustainability, ESG tracking and reporting, that seems to be a topic that's really resonating with our generation, right? As we get older, we're getting more buying power. We're getting better as an industry at tracking some of these things. Companies are becoming more transparent about their sustainability initiatives, right? For the last 5 to 10 years, it was almost like a little greenwashing, right? Everybody said, oh, we got this all figured out. We're the greenest company out there, blah, blah, blah. But now we're kind of getting to this phase of transparency, in my opinion. And everybody's kind of picking up on it. Companies are being honest with the public. They're being honest with the market. They're saying, listen, we don't have this all figured out. It's a work in progress. But these are the things our company is doing this year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, to become more sustainable, to leave less of a footprint, and to, in essence, leave this world better than when they found it. So that's been a common theme throughout most of these conversations. And I'll tell you what, if you were a little iffy about my generation's buy-in to green practices, I'll tell you what, you got to come down to the forum because we'll change your mind pretty quick.
Luke, that's great. I completely echo your sentiment, and I will just add that it's not only our Advancing Professionals program, but actually in practice. Yesterday, we had a sustainability and resilience session, and in it, we had a fully female panel of speakers, and 2 of our speakers, frankly, were early career young professionals. And it was one of the better sessions I believe we had yesterday. Yeah,
that's what I was told too. I was able to check in on the last part of that session, and I was actually asking a couple of people around, and it seemed like your young guns in the session had a pretty big impact on the overall success of it. So it seemed to be pretty successful.
They certainly did. I would urge anyone in our listening audience to go and search out that video on YouTube as well when it's released. Luke, more generally, what this is now your second ARC forum.
Yeah.
So how has your perspective evolved? What do you think about this event?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was so new to the company in June. I was still learning a lot of things. I didn't necessarily obviously know how this forum worked. So I didn't have the time or necessarily the ability to hop into some sessions. I wasn't holding my own in necessarily all the conversations, etc. Now that I'm much more familiar with who we are as a company, who our clients are, technology users and suppliers alike, I've been able to really increase my networking capacity. One of the things that I think is important is there's people here with years and years of experience. They got more experience in industry than years I've been on this planet, right? So I'm really trying to capitalize on some of that. And one of the common themes I've seen across everybody I've talked to is they want to give back. They have this knowledge, they have this expertise, they understand they're on the tail end of their careers, and they're willing to give you time. They're willing to give you energy. They're willing to share some of this knowledge with you, but you have to be proactive about it. You have to be able to go talk to these folks. And I think it's also important to note, one of the things I've noticed that I thought was pretty impactful was, yes, these people have more years of experience than I've been alive, but also I have a unique perspective that I can bring to them. I can also provide value, and I feel like at a conference like this with some of the higher level executives, that can kind of get lost in the shuffle. So you got to remember, everybody's got a unique perspective and they have some value to bring to the table, to the conversation, and don't sell yourself short. So second forum in the books. I'll tell you what, I was able to attend more sessions this year, in the vast variety of the topics that are covered at this forum. I don't think you can get anywhere else. Cybersecurity, energy transition, oil and gas, digital transformation. It's all encapsulated in here. So really, if you're interested in any subject within industrial manufacturing, I'm sure we have a session about it. We have sponsors that'll talk to you about their products in said market, etc. So it's really remarkable to see how everything comes together. And obviously, I was a little bit more involved on the planning side this year. So it's a remarkable event that we host every year, and I can't wait to get out here in 2024. That's for sure.
So not only is it a great event, but as a young professional, you get access to this growing young professionals, advancing professionals initiative here at ARC. And from my perspective, it's about networking within a group of your own peers, networking with some of the more senior leaders, as well as we do have an evolving mentorship program. It's informal at present. We're creating that as we speak, and there's a number of other initiatives that are in the game plan that have not been formally announced, but are on their way
very soon.
So, I urge everyone to reach out to Luke and the other members here, the other young professional, advancing professional members of ARC, and join the group and really join this very dynamic and growing organization. Lastly, Luke, if someone is interested in joining the Advancing Professionals program, how do they contact you?
So yeah, that's a great question, Jim. You can find me on LinkedIn at Luke Martin, or go ahead and just shoot me an email at lmartin@arcweb.com. Right now we're hosting most of our content on LinkedIn and through our podcast series, but that's all going to be expanding throughout 2023 as we wrap this year up and moving into 2024. So I'd love to get connected with really any young, emerging, advancing professionals. Again, guys, we're the future of this industry. So why not start connecting earlier? Why not start sharing knowledge earlier? Why not start sharing best practices earlier? So I'd love to get in contact with you. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out.
And if you have a compelling story that you'd like to share with a larger community, I am sure Luke would be thrilled to interview you on a future edition of the Smart City podcast. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
See
Thanks
you
for
again.
having me.